I'm Gab. I'm the researcher for CUPE in the Maritimes. And today we're going to really drill down on what a wage increase of 20% over 4 years would mean for Susan, the resident attendant. So on a daily basis, Susan, she cares for the residents of nursing homes in New Brunswick. She cares for their health, their safety, their well-being, and she combs their hair, she washes them, she feeds them. The residents come to know her as her second family. Susan makes $21.24 an hour. Now, if we're talking hypothetically of a raise of 20%, we need to remember that that 20% is over 4 years. So what does that mean? That means a 5% increase per year. Now, we've talked since last year at the bargaining conference that we need to think about the rising cost of goods, so inflation or CPI. So let's say that Susan gets her 5% raise for the year 2017. Between 2016 and 2017, the price of goods like food and clothing increased by 2.3%. So that means when we're talking about a real wage increase, Susan is getting a 2.7% real wage increase because that 2.3 is helping her keep up from year to year. But we'll be sticking with the 5% figure so that you can see how much it actually means for Susan. So for Susan, a 5% increase per year means an additional $1.06 per hour. That is what a 5% increase per year would mean for Susan. But we can look at it in two different ways. Susan works about 7.5 hours a day, so that means about $7.95 per day. Or we can look at it, she works an average of 37.5 hours a week, so that brings us to $39.75 per week. That's what the 5% represents. Now, remember that Susan pays taxes. So let's imagine she is a single income household with few tax credits, so not a lot of money back. Let's make assumptions. She would need to pay about 15% personal income tax. So this would lower her weekly increase by $5.96. So that's for tax. So we're down to a net increase of $33.79 per week. So remember that Susan needs to budget her new increases. She now knows that she's going to be making $33.79 a week more than she did the year before. So when she's sitting down and thinking about the things that she needs to buy, she might say, okay, I have $33.79 per week. What does that look like if I spread out this new money on every day of the week? What can I buy every day of the week with the new money? So if you divide her income, her increase, by 7 days, that gives her $4.83 a day for a 7-day week that she can play with. What can she buy with $4.83 a day based on her 5% increase? Well, according to the grocery store website today, a 2-liter of milk would cost her $3.59. A loaf of bread would cost her $3.49. So Susan can decide to either buy milk or buy bread on the one day, but she can't buy both if she wants to maintain or if she wants to use her new money. That's how low those numbers really are. Now, we've been hearing the government talking about how much this would cost. So yes, Susan is just one worker. There's 4,100 nursing home workers in the province. So the government has told us that according to their figures, a 20% wage increase over 4 years would cost $28 million. As we did before, we need to divide this by 4, right? So per year, we're looking at an investment of $7 million. What does that look like in terms of the government budget as a whole? Last year, the government budget was $9.6 billion. So that's how much money the government spent or planned to spend when they released their budget. So what is the proportion here? What is the $7 million inside the $9.6 billion budget? That represents 0.0007% of the Government of New Brunswick budget. Provincial budgets are a matter of political will and political choice. Right now, with these figures, the nursing home workers would be worth 0.007% of the provincial budget. All political parties, except the Conservatives, agree that nursing home workers deserve wage increases. Let's make it happen for all the Susans in the province.